The Bucks did it. They did the biggest move probably in their franchise's history and traded their best player in franchise history, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I was gonna make a video about this yesterday, and I know y'all probably looking at me like, "Oh my God, he looks like shit." And yeah, I know I do. I have kids now. I have babies, so I don't get that much rest. So get used to seeing this for like the foreseeable future when it comes to my videos. But back to basketball. Giannis is now wearing the Heat jersey, and that's been a rumor for like 3-4 years. Even like close to like after they won the ring, there was a lot of people who still speculated that Giannis was unhappy in Milwaukee. And there was a lot of reasons for him to be unhappy in Milwaukee at that point. A lot of the moves that they were making just didn't make sense. And I feel like a lot of the moves were just name chasing or feeling like pressure from Giannis rather than making actual intelligent moves. And I did agree with a lot of them. I feel like Dame and Giannis should have worked a lot better than it did. I feel like trading Chris Middleton at the time does make sense because Chris Middleton hasn't had the best decline since the ring, and also he had a lot of injury concerns. I just feel like they made bad moves and bad decisions when it came to that. Like getting Kyle Kuzma is just not the move for me. The reason why it's not the move is because he doesn't have the ability to catch fire in the same way that Chris Middleton does, and that's something that is very valuable to what they've done throughout the years in the playoffs. Like without that, it was genuinely just Giannis and Dame, and it didn't work out the way that people thought it would work out, because once you zone in on Dame and you realize you can build a wall on Giannis, there's not many other pieces that they had that was really causing any issues for the Pacers at the time. I mean, the 2 years they had Dame, they lost to the Pacers in the first round, but they didn't cause any, truly. John Horst was saying that he didn't want to trade Giannis. And to be honest, Giannis was fucking, oh my God. Giannis was unbearable. Genuinely unbearable that entire time. He was saying his most recent thing was genuinely the most annoying thing he's ever said. He said, "I don't want to leave Milwaukee, but I don't want to play for the Bucks." He was copping a plea there. He said, "Y'all, it's not, I love the fans. I love y'all still. I promise. It's just that the team sucks." And, you know, like outside of the trade, look out for Ryan Rollins stock. I'm not even playing. He's about to be drafted at 8 is very interesting. Whoever they draft at 13 is very interesting. Or if they trade up, because the draft is today, if they trade up and get that a different pick that's a little higher, that would be very interesting. So I want to see what they do with that type of stuff. But regardless of that, I am happy that the Bucks have decided to reset, retool, build around these other players, and just find their new star rather than just forcing themselves to have Giannis. Because I understand one time talent. I understand that truly. But the one thing that I always will say is you have to understand when your cards, the way your cards are dealt. The way their cards were dealt at this time was Giannis was going to spend the next 3 or 4 years with a team that was not good unless they made an insane blockbuster trade with pieces that are not good enough to get them a blockbuster trade. So Giannis himself was probably thinking, this is a dead end. We're at a dead end right now. We made a lot of bad moves, and it led to us not having a team that is worth shit. We let go of Damian Lillard to sign Miles Turner, who had a bad year. Like that, he just simply had a bad year. We traded Chris Middleton, one of my favorite teammates, multiple-time All-Star. Gonna get his jersey retired with the Bucks, for Kyle Kuzma. And I'm not on a team of hating Kyle Kuzma. I think he's a nimwit. I think he's an idiot, like in real life shit. But on the court, he's not terrible. He just is not a player that you want to have there as a top 3 to 4 option on your team. And, you know, they have some bright spots, like I mentioned before. Ryan Rollins is a great player, and they're about to have some more bright spots with other players that they just got from this trade. But they're retooling, and I don't know how deep they're going to go into the retooling. The exact trade was, by the way, it's crazy. I was damn near about to go to sleep when it happened. I was extremely surprised by this happening. I thought it was going to be, what's it called? I thought it was going to be something a lot closer to during draft time. Like, I thought it was going to happen during their pick, to be honest. I thought the Bucks were going to trade their pick or get other picks by trading Giannis. It was either, in my head, it was either They trade their pick and get somebody that they can use to supplement the time where they are trying to find a bigger star. Like, they're gonna get an all-star level player instead of an all-NBA level player. They're like, look, Giannis, we're still making moves to make you feel better, and we don't want to ever lose you, gang. We don't want to lose you, gang. And that shit they probably did, but it just didn't work. Some other parts of this Giannis deal, though. Give me a second. The other part of this Giannis deal is the Celtics. The Celtics were apparently very heavily engaged in trade talks with Giannis. And just real quick, I feel like now they have to trade Jaylen Brown. And I know it doesn't work like that because they didn't, but I'm saying they have to because he has heard for the past 3 to 4 days that he is the biggest, like, he was the trade piece in every scenario for Giannis. He realizes that the team now views him as just a trade chip. He's not going to be able to play the same over there. I genuinely don't think it's going to be at all what it was last season or any season prior, because he knows that they are just willing to let go of him. Sure, he's going to come out and be like, it's a business, blah, blah, blah. But internally, he's going to always have that feeling of betrayal and like disgust whenever he plays with the Celtics. So I think they have to move him. As unfortunate as it is for Celtics fans, they have to move him. But the trade package was something like Jaylen Brown, Baylor Shireman, Hugo Gonzalez, Jordan Walsh, and a few first. And the Celtics said no. Why would they say no? Honestly, and I understand people are really high on people like Baylor Shireman and Hugo Walsh, and Hugo Gonzalez and Jordan Walsh and all these people. Those three people did not play in the playoffs. Jason Tatum is right now in an injury-riddled portion of his career. We don't know how long, like genuinely, we do not know how long he has being at a top level. What is the highest that you think you're going to get from players like Jordan Walsh, Hugo Gonzalez, and Baylor Shireman? What is the most you think you're going to get? And is it at all near the level of what Giannis could bring you? And I understand not wanting to add those three on top of what you're going to get from Jaylen Brown, because Jaylen Brown last season was an All-NBA first-team level player. He was an amazing player, and he led them to having one of the best records in the East while playing without Jason Tatum for the majority of the year. But you have already come to terms with the fact that you would have to trade Jaylen Brown. Like, that is 100% what you were going to do. So those addition pieces really ain't shit. Like, they don't mean nothing. Like, okay, let's compare those pieces to what the Miami Heat traded. Let me see. Let me try to find it, because we sent that in the group chat a while ago, like when they first did it. I was asleep. Unfortunately, I was asleep, bro. They traded Tyler Hero, Kel Ware, Jaime Jaquez, Kasparis Jakuchonis, 3 first-round picks, and a pick swap. I'm being honest. The Heat, of course, Jaylen Brown is the best piece they could have gotten. But the Heat's package might be better. Pause. They got 3 first-round picks, a pick swap, a second-rounder, Jaime, who was just second in Sixth Man of the Year, Kasparis Jakuchonis, who has a lot of potential as a player, who was just a first-round pick, and Tyler Hero, who, when healthy, was an all-star level player, Kel Ware, who genuinely could be an all-star level player as well. Like, these are all players that are going to contribute and can contribute right now. I don't know if people like Jordan Walsh, Hugo Gonzalez, or Baylor Shireman are contributing on the same level as these players on a team like the Bucks. I understand the Celtics, that they had like a great year this year. Baylor Shireman, I don't know how old he is. Hugo Gonzalez was a rookie. Jordan Walsh had played, I think, a year prior to this, and he's like one of the better defensive players in the league. But they can't score. None of them can really score at a high level. I understand Baylor Shireman had a 30-point game. It was the last game of the season. Everybody hooping the last game of the season. Nobody care about that shit. I'm being honest. Baylor, those three don't move as much as people like Celtics fans think they do. And that's like, that happens in every fan base, where it's like, okay, I love these 3 young players because of the sort of energy and the edge that they give us. But at the end of the day, they're not really that good, though. Like, it's just what it is. They're not really that good. There's not much of a ceiling for somebody like Julio Gonzalez. Like, do Celtics fans genuinely think any of these three players will be anything other than role players. Like, do you see a future where Hugo Gonzalez is an all NBA level player, or spaces the floor at an sorry, my God, I'm not editing shit by the way, but spaces the floor at in like all NBA level, or does anything at an all NBA level? Do you think that happens for any of them? No. The person who I think that the Heat traded could play at all NBA levels, Kel Ware could. I'm not playing. If he gets the right opportunity, he could be an all NBA level player. Kasparas Jakuchonis is a great prospect. I think that he could be an all NBA level player. And that's like, I'm being genuinely serious. He could be an all NBA level player. So I would prefer getting what I got from the Heat as the additional pieces. Of course, I'd rather have Jaylen Brown over all that. But the additional pieces from the Heat are just better. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see what goes on over here. I'm excited to see where all the teams involved go from here, because the Celtics have to make a move. The Celtics have to make a move. They just lost in the first round. Jaylen Brown was on the internet. He embarrassed himself, I think, to be honest. And I understand people want stars to be more transparent about shit, but going on your stream and then complaining, saying that Embiid's a flopper or whatever the fuck is extremely, I'm being honest, extremely fucking corny. They have to make a move. Jaylen Brown, you're better than that, because I agree with you on so many different levels and so many different things, and for you to go on the TV and do that type of shit is just like, it's discouraging as a person who wants to be a fan of you. But yeah, you know what it is. See y'all next time. Peace. Heat Nation. Rico gotta make a video. I told his ass 3 times he gotta make a fucking video.